welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing something a little bit different once again. I haven't really opened too much booster packs on this channel for quite a while, and now that the new set Throne of Eldraine is coming out on Magic Arena, I thought this would be a lovely time to revisit this game and open some booster packs. So this is the first time I fired this game since the update, by the way, so I'm going to get a whole lot of pop-ups, I believe. We got an updated starter deck. Lovely. Renewal gifts, since the new season kind of started. All that jazz. Oh dear. So we got 10 rares from the new set, most of them actually. The Great Henge. This is a lovely card. I was looking forward to play with it already as well, so that's nice. Other card, nothing that strikes me. We got a Dwarf Noble, which is maybe that relevant, I don't know. Earth of Kaya, efficient, drain things card. Bedevil, Steroid Bursts, removal, that's nice, but yeah, this is what it's at, having those big mana things, which actually come cheaper the longer the game goes, and yeah. That's going to go straight into one of my decks. But this is not all. So we're going to open 10 at once. I see. So we only get the rares displayed here, and the commons icons afterwards, I'd say. So here's Okothip of Crowns, another Planeswalker, which can actually create food tokens, so that's nice. Food tokens are those little artifacts here. You can sacrifice them for life, but mostly would like to do other things, sacrifice them for mana or for other things. It Oko can make eggs of your burnt creatures and exchange control of creatures. So I see what this thing is trying to do. First, you create a food token for yourself. You're making a creature of your opponent into an elk, and again you're exchanging control of those two, or you're giving the opponent a food token for maybe a mana dog he has or something for 3 mana. This is pretty good planeswalk, I would say. Now we got here Witch Vengeance, the creature type of your choice, get minus at the end of turn. So could be a board wipe in certain circumstances if your opponent is playing tribal something white, or sometimes if they just have a lot of humans. They don't need to play tribal for that, so for 3 mana, quite efficient removal. Get rid of the Wizened, 3 and a blue and X, and you draw X card when they enter the battlefield. And on a blue spell, you can tap in on a permanent. Seems like a late game control kind of guy. We got a land, Castle Garum Brick, which for some reason is not legendary, so you can have multiple Castle Garum Bricks on the field. And it gives you mana, and in the late game it gives you even more mana. We got a wild card, which of course can be converted into any rare I would like, so those are actually the best cards you can pull in packs. Hushbringer, flying lifelink, and creatures don't have entered the battlefield effects anymore. For 2 mana, quite a good thing. Slap an arrow on this and it will get you loads of life as well. This is a card which I actually don't know how it works in the game, so it can give you non-creature cards from outside the game, and afterwards you can still cast it. Then you can discard 2 cards and return to your hand, and then exile again with the Sorcery Adventure kind of ability of this guy. But I guess that you would pick cards for your sideboard with this, so that's how it works. It can be very dangerous to have, basically, when you draw this card, you got a choice of 15 cards you could pick with this, but it only picks non-creature cards, so that's something. But still, it can give you a lot of utility. This card, Collect Bridge Troll. Oh, this is just lovely. Huge creature, way undercosted, but of course this is set off with creating 3 goats for your opponent, 0/1 goats, and at the beginning of combat you may sacrifice a creature, in this case most probably a goat, but if they do, you still, well, you need to tap the troll, but you gain 3 life and you draw a card. So that's still pretty good. And at some point your opponent may not want to sacrifice a creature, and then you still got that 5 mana 8/8 with trample and haste. So the haste potion and the trample. Oh, this is just a very good card. Wicked Wolf, it fights, and when you sacrifice food, you put +1/+1 counters on it and indestructible, and you tap it. So in most cases you want to put this on the field when there's a food counter on the field, and you can just right away sacrifice a food counter. This thing fights, it is indestructible, and just sounds like a good removal to me. And you can do this multiple times, so you can put more and more food, more and more +1/+1 counters on it. If you got a good food counter production, this can be quite huge in the late game. And there's Happily Ever After, which is a very strange card. Every player gets 5 life and draws a card, so also your opponent benefits from this. But if you have 5 colors among permanents you control, and you got 6 or more card types among permanents you control, and in your graveyard, and your life total is greater or equal than your starting life total, you win the game. So you need to walk through a lot of hoops to actually get this to work. Okay, I guess the commons and uncommons are just going to be added to a collection. There we go, another Happily Ever After, another Oko. Circle of Loyalty. It is a knight tribal card. It can cost you up to 2 mana, gives all your creatures +1/+1. Of course, only if you have 4 knights on the field. And when you cast legendary spells, you get even more knights, and if you pay mana, you get, surprise, more knights. So a very knightly card. This sounds like it does a lot of things. I like it. Another Castle Gunbreak, another Witch's Vengeance. I've got an acclaimed contender. You play it, you reveal the cards if you control another knight, and you can basically search for knights, auras, equipments, or legendary cards among them. So you need to build your deck accordingly. You need to have knights, you need to have, well, other knights or auras, equipment, all that stuff. But in a just pure knight deck, this should be pretty good as well, since it's still a 3 mana 3/3, which potentially draws your card. Nice. This is a strange thing. It gets cheaper for artifacts you control. Maybe it takes a few tokens, so it can work with Ochre. I mean, it gets cheaper, but a 1 mana 1/2. It builds yourself, and you can take artifact cards from the graveyard. Yeah, it could be good, but you really need to do an according strategy. So a very narrow situation, but this is useful. But if you got a blue artifact deck, this is of course something you would like to play. No big surprise here. Oh, this is just straight aggression and card advantage, but it also draws for your opponent, so another card which actually draws for both players. It can be dangerous for you as well to give your opponents free cards, but then again it also makes them lose life, so if you just try to raise, then this is surely going to help you. And of course you get cards as well. Wildborn Preserver has flash and reach, and whenever you play another non-human creature, you don't need to play it, it just needs to enter your battlefield, so tokens of course also count. And you can pay X and then put X +1/+1 counters on this card, since it has reach. Could be quite good, especially flash here. I'm not sure if that counts in a lot of situations, but it gives you some extra utility, and if everything goes wrong, it's still a 2 mana 2/2 rest of reach, so even in the worst case, this is a good card. And there's a Linden, there's the Steadfast Queen, 3 white for 3/3 vigilance. And when white creatures attack, you gain 1 life for each of those. Well, this is, they don't life gain, maybe tokens, but definitely something you would like to play in life gain. This works very well with Ajani Pridemates, as you could imagine, because whenever they get attacked, they just get stronger. There it is. Yeah, not sure if you play mono white life gain though. Maybe this could become a possibility with the new set. There's so many new strategies, I haven't really explored all of them just yet with this new set. And oh, look at that, a mythic wildcard, that's lovely. And there's another mythic right here with the Realm Cloaked Giant. For 5 mana you can send it to an adventure to just destroy everything that's not a giant, which is in most cases all creatures, and then just look at a 7/7 Vigilance creature for 7 mana. Not bad. Another giant here, which just prevents damage prevention basically, and it can deal damage to any target. And then it becomes an efficient creature which punishes everything who wants to damage, everybody who wants to damage this. Funnily enough, when you try to buff this guy, he will also hit you, so that's some nice extra flavor for a Vanquisher Giant. Oh, but he is stolen by the Fae. Now we can return a creature to our hand, and oh, this is actually pretty good, I think. Yeah, you get a lot of it. Like if you, for example, turn 7, you return a 5-drop of your opponent back to his hand, getting 5 fairies for 7 mana. That's pretty decent. There we go. This is a black mana, basically the counterpart to the last queen we got there. This one's an elf though, and it gets whenever a black creature at the battlefield, you drain your opponent for 1. Actually, each opponent, if that ever is important to your own arena. And you can sacrifice black creatures to draw cards. So probably you want to play this in black token decks or black-white token decks, but you need to pay triple black for this, so you need to be kind of heavy in the black area to be consistently able to drop this. There's another Gadrick the Wise and Ironcrack Feet for 4 mana, of which 3 must be red. It gives you 7 mana and you can cast only 1 more spell this turn. There's another card in this set I saw earlier, which allows you for exactly 7 red mana to deal 7 damage to 5 targets or something. So this is clearly the combo quote card for this here. Lost-Red Beast, it creates a white creature token when you send it to an adventure, and then when it comes to the battlefield, it is a 3 mana 5/5, which is pretty amazing, but it can't attack up. It can block, but it cannot attack if you don't control that +1/+1 counter. So it really cares for the token it creates, which is kind of nice. I like this fairy tale flavor they got in here. And there's a Knight, which is actually a monthly Python reference, which is lovely. So you get this also Knight, which is clear reference to the Black Knight in. It was called the Black Knight, I think so. In yeah, that. Is it called the Knights of the Coconut? At least that's the German title. It's just 3 mana 4/4. Comes with the +1/+1 counters on it. It needs to attack every turn, and it only dies when it has been dealt damage 4 times. Because no matter how much damage you do to this, prevent all but 1 of that damage, and that damage removes a counter from it basically. So you need to hit this 4 times, just like in the movie. He had to lose all 4 limbs until he would stop fighting. So that's one of those references I can really appreciate. There's another castle here. It is on the Continental Island, and it can scroll. Okay, nothing really spectacular. Let's get some more of those booster packs. Alright, another Bone Crusher Giant. Also getting loads of wild cards here. Nice. The Black Castle, it allows you to draw cards and then lose life equal to the number of cards in your hand. The late game, if you will have at most 1 or 2 cards in hand when you use this ability, it is actually very good to have cards on a land like this. Blacklands Paragon. As the battlefield target knight gains Death Touch and Lifelink at the end of turn, so it can just flash in for a cheap removal while gaining you some life, but it can also buff a token of you or pick a creature just to gain a bunch of life points, so that has again a lot of use cases and decent stats as well. There's another Embry, Fire Elder, Treefolk Druid. It's +1/+1 for each color among permanents you control, has 0/0 base stats, vigilance, and can tap mana for one each color among permanents you control. So in the best case, this is a 3 mana 5/5, which taps for 5 mana, which is very, very stupid. In the worst case, you only have this fella, the 3 mana 2/2, which taps for 2 mana, which is still good actually. Adding vigilance on top, and for every extra color it only gets better. So if you're going 5 color, this fella is your man. As I mentioned, you may cast spells only during your turn and cast no more than 2 spells each turn. You may cast a converted mana less to the number of lands you control without paying the mana cost. So this basically doubles your mana, but you can only use it twice. Does that make sense? Not doubles your mana, but I can use it once. I think that's to prevent any hard abuse, but it still seems pretty good. Oh, and it also means that creature ramp like the Fey Barrow Elder will not work, so with this you only want to have land ramp, or no ramp at all, and then just slap a lot of cards on the battlefield, and that's it. Return of the Wild Speaker, choose one. Draw cards among the greatest power among non-human creatures you control, or non-human creatures you control get +3/+3 at the end of turn. Each one of those is not really that super exciting, but having both of them on one card is what makes this a rare card. Sometimes you want this mode, sometimes you want that mode, and it's an instant speed as well, so that's pretty nice. We got the third folio of the offenses here. Players have no maximum hand size. Again, this applies to opponents as well. It draws cards for each player, and it also lets opponent put number of cards equal to the number of cards in their hand. So it melts your opponent basically. You give him a lot of cards and then dump his 11 to the graveyard. Boom, done. You won the game. That's the idea behind this. It is very risky though. And there's another Linden. Let's take a look at the last 10 here. We got another mythic wildcard here, another mythic wildcard here. Yovo, Lord of Garenbrick. Double green for 0/0, and as I say, with 4 counters, so it's a 4/4. And whenever other creatures enter the battlefield, other green creatures, you put another counter on it, and then if that creature is stronger than Yovo, you put even one more. So it basically has evolve with benefits. Lovely. This seems like a sufficiently stupid card. No, it's big, and it only gets bigger, but it doesn't have any keywords, so you might want to enchant this fella. Another Garruk, that's good. Garruk is strong, obviously said that. Another Yara. Lovely Storm of the Fae. You really want to build around a Yara. That seems like a fun card. Once upon a time, you may cast, if this is the first spell you cast this game, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. So basically, turn 1, play this for 0 mana, you're good to go. And to take a look at the top of card of your library, you will reveal a creature or land card to put into your hand. Ooh, I like this. So this allows you to keep hands with less lands in it if you got Once Upon a Time. And then you kind of filter your library a bit. That's nice. And you also got the option to, in the late game, get creatures if you want those. So versatility once again, it is good. It's key. Charming Prince. When it's the battlefield, you choose Scry, gain life, or exile a creature, and you own and return to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. So since this is flash, this creature does not have flash, so it is normally played with one of the main phases. You kinda want to use the last option only if you can get another enter the battlefield effect for another time, or you want to get rid of a pacifism on one of your creatures or another harmful enchantment. So, and if you can't do that, Scry 2 or gaining life, probably you want to Scry, but I guess in most cases you play this for the last ability for more into the battlefield effects. Alright, Return of the Right Speaker. Oh, and of course, no, it's not green, so it doesn't really work what you said. Castle Lock Train and the Wishclaw Talisman. Industrial 3 wish counters, and you can remove a wish counter and search out for a card and put it into your hand. And then your opponent gets control of it, then he can do it another time, you get it again, and then you can do it once again. And then it basically it's useless because it doesn't have any counters on it. You can still sacrifice it, of course. Alright, so I have to say I'm quite excited to build the decks with the new set, with the Throne of Eldraine. Maybe I'm going to do a deck tag or two for the channel as well. Haven't done one of those in ages. And I have to say this is quite inspiring. A lot of Newcastle exciting cards, the food mechanics which I still have to dive in. And yeah, who knows. Okay, I think we're not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to create a few decks, and then in some days maybe I got something which I like good enough that I showcase this to you, tell you about how it works, what it tries to do, and can demonstrate it here right away. That was the thing which I kind of did not quite like about my last deck tech video here, where I showed you the deck. I told you how you could play it, but I didn't really show any action because at that time there wasn't really a good presentation, and when there was Magic Online, but it's kind of not really spectacular to watch, and I didn't have anybody to play against physically, so Magic Arena now gives me that option. This is something which I would like to use in future. So yeah, now I'm definitely going to deck building. I would like to thank you for chilling out here with me, opening those packs and getting all sweet with the grass. Thanks for watching. See you next time, and goodbye.